Like, Lemon Dog's jungler, I don't really study him a lot. I just look at what he plays, and that's about it. Like, I don't know. He just basically, their jungler just plays he plays like a standard, kind of like aggressive play style, like Dexter. He plays like Lee Sin and shit like that. So that's all I really know about him. I don't really watch him that much. There we got SK Telecom. SK Telecom, they have Bengi. Bengi is like, I think the best person to compare him to is, damn, did you don't have like all the teams listed out here? I want like a full list of all the teams. Here we go, this will be better. Yeah, I'll just start off, like, Canadian Bears, I don't know who the fuck they are. Like, I watch their games, but I don't really know the players. Najah Blacksword. It's kind of weird that they're going to be coming into this, because I haven't really seen them play in a while. Like, I watched the NLB finals. They looked alright, but I think they're going to have a hard time. Like, Watch is an okay jungler, but he has, like, just the traditional Lee Sin, kind of aggressive jungle style. But I don't think Watch is, like, anything extraordinary. He just plays aggressive jungles. He likes Lee Sin, he likes Nocturne. I haven't really seen him play in a while, though, so I can't really comment too heavily on him, so I'm just gonna, like, skip him. Who else we got? We got Royal Club. Oh, God. Yeah, I haven't seen... they play a lot of, like, really snowbally, gimmicky type stuff. They really like Vi Jungle a lot and things like that. Traditional, like, Lee Sin kind of stuff. I don't watch their games too much, so I'm not gonna comment on it. I'm mainly gonna comment about, like, the well-known Korean teams and NA teams and EU teams, so... I'll skip over Cloud9. I'll come back to them because I want to make a point about that. I'll just start from the bottom then. Alright, we'll start with Gambit. We got Diamond Prox. So Diamond Prox is like... I've jungled against him like a lot of times. And every time I've ever jungled against him, I've been unimpressed, to be honest. Like, I always expect... Like, everybody hypes him up, and they're like, oh, he's so good, and I expect a lot out of him. And, but, like, he never really plays the play... Versus me, he never plays the play style that I expect him to play. Like, he doesn't really play the aggressive play style. Like, he's kind of known for, like, counter jungling and playing that aggressive play style and making big plays and things like that. And whenever I've played versus him, he's never done that. But Diamond Prox is, like, a big playmaker jungle. He likes to play, like, really weird things. A lot of people say he's an innovator for jungle, which I don't really agree with that, because... I'll give you prime examples. Like, Shyvana, people say that he innovated that. For the Kiev qualifier, which is the first tournament that champion got brought out in, which was the first tournament that the patch where Shyvana got released on, she was played. So I watched actually all the qualifiers from all the different teams through all the regions, and every region actually played Shyvana in the qualifiers leading into Kiev. So when people say that he innovated that champion, I don't agree with that at all. Like, I don't feel like he innovated that. And then for Nasus, like, Nasus had just gotten changed the patch that week on the patch for LCS, and a lot of people have been playing it in solo queue, so I don't really agree with him saying he's an innovator in that area. Basically, he was the first one to play it in LCS, and that's why he's considered an innovator on that. But many people were playing it, and, like, all the LCS junglers are playing it, but it just didn't get pulled out that week. He got pulled out the following week by a lot of other junglers. And then, what else is another champion people said innovated? Volibear. Volibear actually had been played by a lot of Taiwanese teams. I can't remember the exact name of the guy, but extremely popular in Taiwan before he ever played it. And Trick2G played the fuck out of it too, but I don't know. Like, Trick2G like played the hell out of Volibear before it became really popular. So Volibear was always like a pick. It's just something that never really showed up in the Western region, and nobody really noticed that. So, because Diamond Prox pulled it out on the Western area, like the Western side, which is the most viewed. People always view the Western side like, oh, NALCS, EULCS, because it gets such huge viewership, and it's considered like the mainstream of League, and that's why he got credited to the Volibear. So I think Diamond Prox is a really good jungler. He's definitely a mechanically good jungler, and he's a playmaker, and I respect him in that sense, and I think he's probably the best jungler in EU. But as an innovator, I don't fully agree with that. So, I don't know. Just me personally, all the times I've ever jungled against him, I felt like I just felt underwhelmed. So that's my takedown on Diamond Prox. His playstyle works really good because he has a top lane that Actually, yeah, their play style is like really weird because they have a top lane that feeds a lot and just like pushes and puts pressure in that way. They have Alex Hitch, who usually beats it up mid, plays assassins, things like that. And then they have like a bottom lane that's just always gonna like, they go 3 Dorans. They just have this bottom lane that's really hard to gank, always gonna be stable. So when you have three stable lanes, his playstyle works out very well because he has a very gank oriented. He likes to make plays on dragons, and he has a very counter jungle type playstyle. So when you have a very strong mid laner like Alex Hitch, who's playing things like Zed and things that can follow you up when it comes to 2v2 skirmish, then Diamondprox's playstyle is perfect for that. So his playstyle fits his team very well. We got Nuke Dog, not really gonna, or Dexter, I mean, not gonna talk about them. Fnatic. So Cyanide. Cyanide's been like a really big jungler since Season 1. And I remember he pulled out Jarvan at the Season 1 finals and for jungle. And I like kicked myself in the ass for it because I didn't realize how strong Jarvan jungle was, and he actually got nerfed right after the Season 1 finals. So to me, like I personally feel like Cyanide's a little bit more of an innovator than Diamondprox because he does come out with original things and he has very good mechanics. And Cyanide's like playstyle is more of he kind of fits more into like the Chinese style, or not really the Chinese style. I'm trying to think about it. He has like this really roam oriented style, very gank heavy. He's a very gank heavy jungler. He's not a farm jungler at all, and it fits really well with EU's with Fnatic's playstyle because Fnatic really loves split pushing. They love individually strong champions. Like they'll play an individually strong champion in the top lane and an individually strong champion in the mid. So very good skirmishing champions. And then their bottom lane just plays whatever. So Cyanide, his very gank oriented playstyle is I don't think it's like the best way to play the jungle, but he needs to balance his ganking style out more with a little bit more farm. But I think out of the EU jungles right now, I think Cyanide's he's probably the second best jungler in EU right now. He's definitely a good jungler though. He has like some of the best mechanics though, like just as far as like smiting and in skirmishing mechanics. So I think he's really good in that sense. Let's see. Who else we got next? We got we got SK Telecom T1. So Bengi. I'm gonna just go ahead and categorize Bengi and Dandy into the same category because honestly, I feel like when I watch them play, I feel like I'm watching the exact same player. I feel that their jungle style is the best right now, and it's a jungle style that like I'm trying to adapt more towards. They have a very heavy gank oriented playstyle, but it's like it's not just about ganks. They have a pressure playstyle. So Bengi and Dandy, the whole point of their entire jungle playstyle is to put pressure on the map. And if you look at their games in any OGN match, you look at Bengi and Dandy at like 30 minutes, they will have no fucking CS. They will be poor as shit. They will have no CS whatsoever. Like, I've seen games, it's like 30 minutes in, they have like 37 CS. And it's so painful. But the trade-off is, they may not be farming, but they're applying so much gank pressure that it allows all their lanes to snowball. So like, mid laners such as Faker can really snowball off this. Like, if you look at how they play, Piglet will play Caitlyn are Vayne, like these late game carries that need to have pressure to like help get out of the laning phase and snowball. And Imp, the same thing. He's a big Vayne player, big Caitlyn player, and they need that pressure to get out of laning phase. And that's pretty much the entire point of Bengi and Dandy is to get their lanes out of laning phase, to put pressure on the map, and to basically just get their team out of the early game. And that's why they like Lee Sin so much in Vi, because Vi, when she hits 6, applies so much gank potential pressure that it's impossible to go hard on the other laner. So you basically lose just because the potential threat of the other jungler being there. And that's also why they like Lee Sin so much, because Lee Sin is probably, out of all the junglers right now, he's probably the strongest early game presence out of any of the junglers. So that's their whole playstyle just revolves around getting their team into the late game and allowing like their monster carries like Faker and Imp get into that late game style. I mean late game like farmed out like we're gonna crush you. Like, because they're both very good team fighting teams, and they play like things that snowball in the late game. So that's like their whole play style. And me personally, I feel that their play style is the best play style right now that you can play as a jungler. And I'm gonna skip over Gaming Gear and also make the note that Vulcan, like Smithy, tries to adapt that play style that Bengi and Dandy do. Like, Smithy's play style is very close. It's probably the closest out of the Western junglers to Bengi and Dandy's play style. He has good mechanics, and he doesn't have like a perfect form of Bengi and Dandy's play style, because I feel like, at least from my understanding when I talk to some of the members of Vulcan, is Smithy he gets told where to gank. And like, it's perfectly fine getting told where to gank as a jungler. Like, that's perfectly acceptable because your lanes will see things that you don't see. However, there's a lot of times when you need to pressure as a jungler and your laner might not even see it. So I think I don't like that playstyle where you're like more of a reactionary jungler than a proactive jungler. Like, I feel like Bengi and Dandy are the proactive junglers, and Smithy is like close to their playstyle, but he's more of a reactionary player than a proactive player. And so Smithy's close to their playstyle, and I think that's one of the reasons why Vulcan will do really well against the international teams, is because Smithy has that playstyle. However, he doesn't have the playstyle fully refined yet, so I think it'll hurt him a little bit, but I definitely think his playstyle will match up against the best against the Asian meta. Let's see what else you got here. You got the odd one. Let's see here. All right, so we got the odd one. I think the odd one is the second best play style out of the NA junglers that going into the international scene. However, I don't feel like his lanes are consistent enough to play that play style. So, like, Reggie is a very inconsistent player. Darius is a consistent player, but he tends to buckle under pressure in like real high profile matches, like the ones that are going to be at Worlds. So, I feel like Odd One's playstyle is a very balanced playstyle. It's like slightly in between a Meteos playstyle and I wouldn't say a Bengi playstyle, because he doesn't gank for pressure. He ganks to get kills. So, I'm trying to think how to describe Odd One's style. Like, Odd One has a very objective-based jungling style, where if he ganks, it's to take that tower, or if he ganks, it's to get that dragon. And I feel that a lot of that comes from his lanes telling him where to gank. Like, I don't fully understand how TSM's whole structuring system works with ganks. I'm pretty sure Reggie tells him a lot of the stuff, but Odd One's gank style is objective based, and he has a very balanced play style. He's probably the most balanced out of the junglers in NA right now, out of all the junglers, even the ones not going to Worlds. But he has a very balanced play style. He's very objective based. Yeah, I don't know, he just feels like a very objective based jungler. So Mineski, I don't know who that is. And then we have Cloud9. So Meteos basically has the playstyle I had at Hanover and leading into Korea when I left for Korea about a year ago. So Meteos has my exact playstyle that I had a year ago. So Meteos is actually, it's so funny because he's actually so behind in the meta that he's ahead, because that current playstyle works very well when your lanes are winning. It works so well, and I'll give you a prime example. Or not even winning. When you have lanes that will always go even or better, then that playstyle is the perfect playstyle. It will always work. And because, like, when I was on CLG, Hotshot would always go at least even. Like, he'd always go even just because he would cheese the lane out so hard. He played, like, Cho'Gath, like, Malphite, like, stuff that's, like, really cheesy and, like, you can't kill it. It's always going to farm. It's always going to go even. And then GG would always go even or better with the other laners. And then bottom lane, we had Chaucer and Doublelift, who were arguably one of the best bottom lanes in the world at the time. So just because, like, I had 3 lanes that could always go even, and basically what I did as a jungler would not affect the game that much, I was like, okay, well, since the early game is not being affected by me, and the ganks aren't really that important, I would just farm so fucking hard it's disgusting. And I would get ganks in, I would only gank when it's 100% potential of kill. And that playstyle works amazing if you have lanes that can all go even. Like balls and high and sneaky elimination always go even and their lanes are better. And you can see the games where Cloud9 lost to Vulcan. It's because the lanes didn't go even, and then Vulcan snowballed their lead off of it. And this is going to be the real problem with this jungle playstyle leading into teams like, and I'm going to give you prime examples, is Ozone and Telecom T1, who they have junglers that will gank not just to get the kill, like they don't give a fuck about the kill. Like if they get the kill, they're like, sweet, we got the kill. But they will gank the fuck out of the lane just to pressure the hell out of it. And if that is the case, when it turns into like a 2v1 in the lane, and your jungler is nowhere to be found because they're too busy farming, then your team will get run over instantly. And that's, me personally, that's why I feel like Cloud9 will have a really hard time adapting to the international kind of like this playstyle of teams like Ozone, T1, and OMG. Like OMG also has like a really heavy, gank heavy, really objective based, like put pressure on you gank style. Like they like to roam a lot. They put so much early game pressure to where that type of farming heavy playstyle just doesn't work. And yeah. So I'm sure everybody like wants to hear my predictions of what teams I think would do good. So I'm gonna queue up because like I feel like playing the game now. But I personally feel like SKT Telecom, Ozone, or OMG have the best shot at taking first. And I think Vulcan out of the NA teams has the best chance of like going far in the brackets. I don't think they'll win, but I definitely think they have a chance of making a run at it. The EU teams, I just personally don't feel like the EU teams are going to do that good. If you go over and study their playstyle and watch their games, they have really weak lane rotations and lane setups. And I think that will bite them in the ass. I definitely think that will bite them in the ass, and I think that will hurt a lot. I think NA is a little bit more ahead on the lane rotations and lane setups. Not as ahead as the Chinese or the Koreans, but I think we have a little bit better grasp on it. And then Mineski, I've never watched them play, so I don't know how they're going to do. Gaming Gear, they looked like alright, but I don't think they're a top tier team. And Naj and Blacksword, they looked a little rough around the edges, so I definitely think like any team could take games off them in the group stages. And Gamanian Bears, I couldn't really tell how good they were because the Taiwanese qualifiers are so troll. Like, TPA was playing some weird shit. Lemon Dogs, I don't know. I think they'll make... I don't think they'll make it that far either. Just watching their play style. But that's just me personally.